All right, so I don't really have anything in terms of a plan here. I really just want to see if I can use this to try to get work done. So I don't really plan for anyone to join me. Um, it's just data collection, really. Um, I'm tired of people telling me what should work for me. So I'm going to instead experiment and see what actually does work. So for starters, I see I have a ton of open windows, and so I'm going to try to close several of them so that I can focus. Um, the next thing I need to do, I already hear my phone going off. So I'm going to turn that down, and I'm going to put my computer into focus mode. We'll give this an hour. That way, I'm not bopping back and forth. Um, what I hope is that this will help me stay on track because I'm actually going to be talking as I do things. And so the first thing that I see is a bunch of emails, and I'm like, why did those not appear to me earlier? However, now is not the time to reply to them. So I'm going to go ahead and swing by my other mailbox really quickly, close that out. All right, doesn't matter. Still just closing tabs, takes a minute. Okay, so now I want to think through what are my priorities for this session. Um, and the biggest issue for me is that even when I identify the projects I want to work on, I have a very hard time narrowing down and actually getting to something actionable. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try to use an app that I'm starting out today with, and just identifying the different projects I'm doing on there. And then what I'm going to do is do screen mirroring from my phone so that I can keep it on my screen. Okay, so it already says that I'm going to do this manuscript review, and I didn't get that done in the morning, so I'm going to move that to my evening block. I need to draft case study for one of my classes, and I know that that is a must do. It's critical. And my energy, I would say right now, is about medium. Um, I probably should work on this 30 minutes to start out. That's very hard for me to stick to, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to give myself some subtasks for this one. The first thing I need to do is probably to open the learning management system that I'm working in, and then I probably create one page for each learning objective that I want to cover. And well, you know what? I'm going to say create one page with learning objectives at the top. So I kind of remember this is what they have to take away. And then I'm just going to put in revisit, because I think what happens is I try to put in all the things that I'm doing, and then I get frustrated when I can't do all of them. So this is the first experiment for today. So we're using an app called Actimate, and just in the period of starting to try this out, so I don't have anything concrete to say yet, but you can see there, open the system I'm working in, create one page that has the learning objectives I want to cover, and then I'm going to say revisit for next steps. And then I'm going to put down what I want to have done at the end of tonight. I would like to have a case study, and I know there's a particular article that I need to start with for that. And then I think I have some case study notes in my Notion. So this is kind of cool because I'm doing something that I feel like when I talk, I allow myself to be a little bit more free. And in my head, there's always like, oh, no, this is right. This is wrong. You have to do it one particular way. So if no one watches this, the very fact that I'm like externalizing, this is what I know helps me when I go to like therapy and stuff. It's just me getting stuff out of my head. So under revisit, I've decided to put like the two things I know I'm going to be using. And I know that for the article, I'm going to want to have multiple choice questions. And at the end, I'm going to want them to do some type of reflection. And the idea here is to get them to act as if they are health promoters and they are working with a population that has historical um, inequities. You should see the spelling job I'm doing on here. It's terrible. Historical inequities and social determinants of health. And I just remembered that I want to teach them theory this week. And I know that that's already prepared. I just have to put in questions. Um, and I have some notes in Notion that explain the theories and then some reinforcement questions. So the cool thing about this is that I know all day I've been avoiding this because it's easier to say yes to a meeting and spend time hearing other people's ideas than it is to actually execute my own stuff. So by creating this one page with objectives, and I now understand what my deliverables are going to be, I can actually go ahead and create those. So I know there's a page for the article, a page for the case study that explains the population that we're working with, and then there's going to be a reflection that they do. Shoot, now because I don't know what I typed here. I didn't type it well enough. Health promoters around populations. Theory. Okay, got it. Theory, notions, questions. Okay, cool. So now I feel like I have a really good idea of what I am doing with this project because I have a page of subtasks. So I actually feel better about doing that activity. So that was awesome. All right. What else do those students need? Probably, you know what? I'm going to come back and think about this later. I'm just going to put it in the description. So I'm going to say assignment, announcement, and I want to do a brief review of what they've been doing to date. I do have some time tomorrow morning if I need to do the review later, but I'd really like to get the announcement and the assignment out tonight. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and say create, and there we go. Awesome. So that is really cool. For the manuscript review, I know that what I need to do. I just got rid of it. I was being curious and I wiped it out. So whatever. Let's see. I'm still learning this system. Where did it go? Oh, I see. It went into someday. So that's definitely not where I want it. I want it to go back into evening. And for the manuscript, let's see, same questions. Okay, I'm doing this in my office. I don't know what my energy level is going to be, but I probably need to work on this for an hour. But the first thing I'm thinking about is this can actually be done tomorrow. So this is the kind of thing that I don't think about when I'm not externalizing. So I'm already kind of feeling like this was the right thing for me to do. I am going to say that this is going to be tomorrow. Ow, ow, ow. And it's a must. And I know for the subtask, I need to find a Word document that they sent me. Good luck to me that had questions I want to use. And I know I need to finish reading the document. And I think I'll put revisit next steps. And we just know that we want to submit by tonight, like tomorrow night, submit by Wednesday night. Okay, so my first feedback to this app is like, I don't want to have to check my spelling as I put these tasks in, so the spelling is atrocious. I'm used to just typing really fast and having it autocorrect, so that's a little bit of a friction point, but we're not going to worry about that because that's no longer happening today. So fantastic. Let's see. Going back to today, the other thing that we want to do is prep for my stress management class. And I think what I want to do there is look at the notes I have on emotional wellness. So just see what activities I have in my week 4 and 5 and 6 um, pertinent to emotions. And perhaps we'll start physical wellness just by talking about um, our relationship to our bodies. And then the second part can wait for next week. Um, the thing that I'm dealing with as a friction point is I know that next week I want them to do their portfolios, but I think I need to be thinking about the portfolios as more of a review than creating new resources. So, review of progress towards learning objectives. I think there should be a reflection where they have to talk to each other. And then I think they can be setting intentions and exploring interests about what they want to do the rest of the semester. And for both of my classes, I want them to think about stress and context. So there, now we have some notes that I can use. And another friction point for me is that I'm doing this on my phone, but I actually tend to do my ideating in Notion. So that's something else that is not working well for me at this moment. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my to-do list and see if there's anything else that I needed to do today. And it looks like, I don't know, I keep saying that I've done these things and it keeps resetting. So that's another friction point, but let's just go ahead and finish these. Okay. Yep, done. It just keeps coming up. Same stuff is not clearing. Okay, we don't have time for that. Did I read a book today? Yes. Did I watch TV? Yes. Why do I put that on there? Because if I do it, then I don't have to like punish myself if I want to do something like that because it's already in my routine. So clicking on these. Okay, so what's left? Work session, self-care routine, evening meditation, herbal tea, go to bed. Nice. I'm going to add to herbal tea that I need to have my supplements. Cool. Close out of that. And now emotional wellness and dress case study. Great. All right. So let's see if we can get the mirroring on here. All right. So we are going to start our task, and this is great. I'm really happy about this because I can set some music. I don't really want that. I'm just going to do the clock ticking. That way I'm aware. Cool. And I'm wondering where my subtasks are. Okay. That would be my feedback to them. I can't actually see my subtext lists, and that's a bit of a problem for me. But we got to move forward, right? Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get into this website. And if we're going to do the emotional wellness one first, because that's what I picked first. Okay, great. So I've already got something on why emotional regulation is often misunderstood. And I think what I want to do here. Okay, this is a great article that talks about emotional regulation. And I'm going to go ahead and load it into this page. And I'm going to ask it to generate questions. See if we can get something. Which of the following models of emotional regulation suggest that emotions are constructed by integrating past experiences with bodily signals? That is a great question. Okay, so we are going to hide the answer, and I want to get rid of the hint, but it's not letting me. There we go. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to create another question. I'm just going to go ahead and create a couple. What does the constructionist predictive model suggest about emotional regulation? All right, I think that one represents better learning, so I'm going to delete the other one and add more questions. Emotions are constructed. Yeah, this isn't helping. Still the same thing. Huh. Interesting. Culture shapes what we feel and what we think we should feel. Okay, this is a great one. Hmm. Okay. I can already feel like I'm getting tired and my energy is getting low, and I'm like barely on the first thing. That is very frustrating. And this is where I typically start to like shame myself, which is not gonna help. Okay, how do emotions and culture intersect? Why does this matter? See, that's the problem. Okay, so this is why I said I need to go back and look at the objectives first before I start doing anything. So I dug right into an article, um, and now I'm like, that's not the way I want to go, and I just end up starting over. Okay, so first, let me clear my head, which I wouldn't typically do, and just breathe. And let's see. If I go back to my semester tracker and see what am I actually doing in this week, and let's see, what did we do? Cognitive and emotional wellness, how your feelings work. All right, so restart. Emotional wellness is about recognizing emotions are signals, not problems to fix. They give you information about what you need. Fantastic. And right beneath that is exactly the objectives I was talking about. So see why I do this? Okay, cool. Amazing. This is like everything I needed. Hot dog. I'm so happy I came back to this. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this in. Course objectives. So, how do your emotions increase or reduce your stress response? Okay, assess individual risk factors. We're looking at emotional risk factors related to stress. Okay, focus on noticing your own emotional patterns and identifying which increase your stress. Perfect. So now I know what they have to do. Develop the ability to tap personal strengths. Which emotional practices support your well being and resilience? And then, what are emotional tools you can use daily to manage stress and support your mental health? So now I know exactly where I'm going. God, I'm so grateful I did this. Okay, cool. So now we're going into what my 4 steps are going to be this week. So I already had this. It's so funny. I lose track and I end up doing things. Okay. So now I know I want an activity that's going to help you understand what's underneath your emotions and how to work with them. Then, how do you hold your emotions while staying engaged in what matters to you? I already know for this, I know for a fact I want to use an MHA resource for that. Cool. So go ahead and just put that as a highlight and bold. Great. When emotions are shaped by trauma. So, what resource do I have for them to learn about trauma, PTSD, and complex PTSD? It's a lot for 1 week. But I think I have something. And now, what are tools for working with big emotions when they show up? Excuse me. Okay. Okay. So I have things. The what's underneath your feelings. I actually already have a worksheet for that. So I just have to figure out what I want the measure of that to be. Then, how can I be okay when the world is terrible? I knew I had that. Yes. Okay. So that's good. And now the trauma and PTSD support. It's a lot of information. It's actually not a bad initial article. Okay, so we've got this article on what is trauma. So we're going to go ahead and put that into the when emotions are shaped by trauma. All right. And back to this article. We'll get rid of these. Okay. And let's see. Oh, wow. This is all the definitions I needed for trauma, and it's super simple. Okay. Past me really did some good work here. And it's cool because I often don't return to the earlier work that I've done. So, types of trauma here. Great. And now let's go back to that list. Oh, no. Here. Okay. So we are going to give them an article on PTSD. This is not easy stuff, but it's actually really good and important that they're learning this, because in previous semesters, I really did not get to cover so much. And I think it's important for students to have the language without us getting too deep into it. So this is cool because I've never taught what complex PTSD actually stands for. So attachment, biology, emotional regulation, disassociation, behavioral control, thinking, and self-concept. This is wild. Okay. Definitely want to assign that. So now it's like I'm still in my first 15 minutes and I'm so much more understanding of what it is I want my students to have. Like, this is wild. I usually take forever to get to this point. And just really celebrating the fact that I did so much work beforehand that I'm actually able to use. So that makes me happy. Okay, so all of that's awesome. Okay, cool. So that assignment is done, doggedy done, doggedy done. And now I just have to think about how I want to assess these things. Unbelievable. Can't believe how quickly and seamlessly that came together. Okay, so now my question is, what resource did I have for emotional regulation practices? Okay, awesome. So there is a resource for how can I manage my emotions, helpful versus harmful ways to manage emotions, Emotions Anonymous. I've never heard of that before. That's incredible. I don't have feelings anymore. I destroy everything. I feel isolated. Okay. Wow. These are incredible. So many pages of things to work on emotions with. Okay. Oh boy. Let's see. View all topics. I don't see emotions as one. Okay, so I see something that I think I'm going to want to use, and that is a goal setting worksheet, not for this week, but for the first portfolio. Interesting. go. All right. What's happening right now is I'm having thoughts that are not relevant to what I'm dealing with right now, and trying to stay centered. And it's hard because I'm tired. Huh, there we go. Processing trauma and stress. Perfect. Let's see. Okay, so what's happening right now is trying to work on the how to deal with trauma, and I want it to focus on emotions. And I'm realizing that they're flip flopping back and forth from thoughts to emotions. And I want to make sure that they have emotional tools for dealing with stress or this. So I think what I'll do is I'll include this as an option. Oh, I get so overwhelmed. Okay, emotional regulation questions. Okay, so why don't we make the last one here about back to this processing trauma and stress. Perfect. And now we'll go back here and working to help you understand practicing radical acceptance. What's bothering you? Understanding reality, accepting reality. I like this one. If not for this, for other purposes. So, oh yeah, this could have gone in the previous week. Practicing radical acceptance. All right. That I feel like is going to be about self-compassion. I really like this. How can I manage my emotions? What's underneath? So I don't know if I've looked at this yet. What's underneath? What's underneath? How can I manage my emotions? Emotional awareness is the process of recognizing, acknowledging your feelings. Allow yourself to feel your emotions. Express them in a healthy way. Perfect. Yes. But you didn't give them a resource to do that. I wonder what that's all about. Okay, here we go. There are processing feelings, relaxation exercises, acts of calm. Yes, perfect. Okay. All right. So this is going to be helpful versus harmful ways to manage emotions. Okay. So even if I have to put this out together later, I think we're doing good. I think we're doing good. So that was how can I manage my emotions? And then we had helpful versus harmful ways. Okay, great. So how can I manage my emotions? Okay. I think that might be for this too. Oh man. Cut. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and press save. Great. All right. That was phenomenal because I now feel like I have finished the hopefully week 4 and week 5. I don't think I've gotten to the decolonizing mental health part yet. I might have to get to that later. Yeah. Culture and mental health. Let's see. I think I'm trying to do too many things at once. Okay. So if I go to week 6, which is part 1. Uh-oh. There's nothing planned yet. No. Don't tell me that. Okay. So if I go to the tired. All right. Let's see what was actually done in the emotions week. I would love to have a report on this. I think that the anchoring in your personal journey could go into the portfolio. Anchor in your personal journey, page 68 of the book. And then radical acceptance can go there. Awesome. Oh boy. Okay, so self-compassion. Distortion. Great. Okay, so managing emotions. Talk about needing to feel. And then we talk about emotional intelligence. And mindset. Okay, so if we do those 2 things, great. It's kind of a lot, I think. But let's see. There's so many things here. Okay. All right. So what often happens is while I'm trying to get my work done, I come across other resources. And that's fantastic because it helps me, but it also really distracts me. So right now I'm finding one on relationships, and that's fantastic because they've got some great resources. But the problem is it's stretching my brain a little too much right now. And I know that it's going to be in a later week. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in that resource. So One Love relationship website, check gaslighting, also on MHA. Great. Done with that. Guess we can close that. And now we're on the signs of an emotionally abusive relationship. Yeah. Ooh, lovely. Okay. Not great for right now, but for later. Some relationships. Perfect. Okay. So I wonder what would happen if I just put in emotions instead of emotional intelligence. I can't deal with my emotions. Okay. Oh man, I'm getting tired. I'm like not going to be able to keep doing this much longer. Cool. So this article on how do I deal with trauma and addiction, I think would be good. Okay. Right. So if I put in again emotional intelligence, I want to see if I get suck for that. How about I'm emotionally exhausted? Because I'm emotionally exhausted right now. All right. I think I get what this is going towards. Now we're just like on a rabbit hole. So tired. There's too many things that are great right now, and it's like, where do I put this? Okay, so I think what we're going to end up doing is maybe giving them options. Emotions and hard times. I think what we'll do is combine emotions and hard times with trauma. No. What emotions are and aren't. I wonder if there's a better way to organize some of these. In your community. So this is going to be under talking to your level of developmental. That's a good one for this week. Perfect. Hmm.